Now we're going to take a look at Fire It Up from the Mafia CD. This song is tuned down a whole step, so here's how the guitar should sound. Low E string, here's your A string, D string, you know what's next? The G string. Who could forget about the B string? And finally, the high E string. Okay, so you'll need to have your guitar tuned like this to play along with the song. Here's the intro riff. Originally, this is played with a talk box, but we're going to learn it without the talk box. We're going to start off on the A string on the 3rd fret, bend up a half step, and then come back down to the 3rd fret. Strike the 3rd fret one more time, and then back to the 1st fret, also on the A string. Now down to the 3rd fret of the low E string. Here's what we've learned so far. And we're going to play that 2 times. Third time is just slightly different. We start off with the same bend, half step from the 3rd fret of the A string, come back down and play the 3rd fret of the A string. 3rd fret to the 1st fret. Now to the low E string, 1st fret to the 3rd fret. So that last little bit we just went through. So here's what we've done from the beginning. And we do the whole thing 2 times. Now this lick continues up an octave. Here's how it sounds when we play it up 1 octave. So here we're going to start off on the 5th fret of the G string, bend up a half step, and then come back down to the 5th fret. Play 5-3 on the G string. Back to the 5th fret on the D string. So we do that phrase 2 times. Followed by this little bit. So it starts off the same. We bend up a half step from the 5th fret of the G, come back down to the 5th fret of the G string. 5-3, and we end 3-5 on the D string. And we play that whole idea 2 times. Now let's take a look at the verse. I'll play through it and then we'll break it down. So these are all power chords, starting with the G power chord, low E string, 3rd fret, 5th fret on the A string. I'll play one measure of 8th notes. The next measure will consist of 8th notes, but the final 2 hits will be 16th notes. So it'll sound like this. So here's the first 2 measures now. Now the verse continues with an F power chord to a C power chord played in the same measure. So the 3rd measure of the verse sounds like this. So the F power chord consists of 1st fret low E, 3rd fret on the A string, followed by a C power chord, 3rd fret A string, 5th fret D string. Back to the G power chord for one measure. So we have a 4-measure phrase. Let's play those 4 measures now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll play that whole idea 2 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's the verse. Now we'll take a look at the bridge. We'll start with the first half of the bridge, then learn the second half, and then put it together. So here's the first half of the bridge. The bridge starts with a C note found at the 8th fret of the low E string. So we hold that for one measure and then strike that C again. This time we're just going to slide off on the low E string. Now we'll be into a unison bend idea, which sounds like this. So we're going to start off by bending into the note D. I'll hold D found on the 3rd fret of the B string. I'll bend from the 5th fret of the G string. Move this idea up 3 frets. Now we're bending into F. Up 2 frets, we're bending into G. Up 3 frets, and we're bending into B flat. And we repeat everything that we've done so far. So here's what we've learned so far for the bridge. Now we're going to play a B flat power chord, 1st fret A string, 3rd fret D string, hold that for one measure. F power chord, hold that for one measure, that's the 1st fret low E, 3rd fret A string. Now we have this riff. So this lick is played all on the low E string. Start on the 1st fret, 3rd fret 2 times, 1st fret, and now I'll play the 3rd fret and I'll try and get a pinched harmonic here. So we have 5 notes all together. And we'll do that 4 times. Back to B flat for 1 measure. Move it up a whole step to C for a measure. We're going to build up here because the solo's coming. And now we're going to do this idea, which will take us into the solo. This is where I just do a trill between the open G string and the 3rd fret of the G string. So I just hammer on and pull off quickly, as fast as I can. I'm not counting how many times I do it. But then I'm going to slide across the G string with the side of my picking hand. So you get different harmonics depending on where you are on the string at the time. So let's put all that together. Here's the bridge. So there's the bridge. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the first 8 bars of the solo. We're going to be in the key of G, and the first phrase sounds like this. So here I'm bending up from the 17th fret of the G string up a full step. Now I'm going to do that same bend, but this time play the 15th fret of the B to the 15th fret of the high E. Now bend up a full step from the 18th fret of the B string. Now go to the 18th fret of the high E, bend up a full step. And after we bend up a full step, I'm going to bend a half step from the 18th fret of the high E. Now to the 15th fret of the high E string, 18, 15 on the B, and now end this idea by bending a full step from the 18th fret of the B string. Okay, here's the next 4 bars that we're going to learn. So here I'm starting off on the B string. We'll play the 15th fret. Now I'm going to do a reverse bend from the 18th fret of the B string. So we bend up a full step, then strike the note and release. And we'll do that 4 times. Now we're going to do the bend and hold the note. Now I'm going to do a quick slur from the 18th fret of the B string to the 18th fret of the high E, and then quickly bend from the 20th fret of the high E and release the bend. And that was a full step bend from the 20th fret of the high E. Now to the 18th fret of the high E, bend up a full step, come back down. Now 20, 18, 20 on the B string. And we finally end this 8-bar phrase with a slight bend from the 18th fret of the high E string. So we're just going to bend up, and we're not going to release the bend. All right, so let's put those 8 bars together. And there you have the first 8 bars to the solo to Fire It Up, which gives us some of the highlights from that song. Have some fun with it.